How animation brought my childhood tales to life. Before we begin the story, make sure to subscribe to our channel and never miss more incredible stories every day. My hands are still shaking when Marcus leans in and says, "Pull it, Jules, right now." We are backstage at the Riverside Shorts Festival, my 10-minute animated film cued on the projector, the room beyond the curtain buzzing with people who paid to see the Lantern King. I can hear my own name through the speakers as the host mispronounces it like I'm a typo. By day, I run an after-school art room for kids who can't sit still. By night, I rot in my studio apartment, hunched over a flickering monitor, key-framing Grandma's stories frame by frame, because nobody else is going to make them real. Marcus smiles like we're friends. He holds out a folded letter with a law firm header and a gold sticker seal. "Cease and desist," he whispers. "Copyright claim. If you screen it, you're done." I snatch it and read in stuttering gulps. Claim filed yesterday. Ownership asserted by a company I've never heard of. Marcus Holloway Media LLC. Listing my film's working title, my character names, even the file hash from my export. "That's not possible," I say. "I made this. I drew every." "Cute," he cuts in. "But paper wins. Festivals hate drama. Sponsors hate scandal. Do you want to be the animator who got a screening shut down by lawyers?" Behind him, Tessa appears in the narrow hallway, face pale, eyes darting. My cousin never comes to my things. She avoids anything that smells like attention. "Jules," she says, voice shaking. "Please, don't show it." I stare at her. "Why are you even here?" She grips my sleeve hard enough to hurt. "Because Grandma called me crying." Grandma Nita is supposed to be in the front row, wrapped in her good coat, proud. The woman who told me stories in candlelight when the power got cut. I text her with trembling thumbs. "Are you okay? Did you file this?" The message delivers. No reply. Marcus lowers his voice. "We can fix this quietly. Give me your project files. We credit you." You walk away clean. I taste metal in my mouth. Walk away from my own childhood. He tilts his head. "Childhood isn't proof, Jules. Contracts are." The stage manager calls. 2 minutes. And the hallway lights dim. Then my phone finally lights up with Grandma's number, and she doesn't sound like herself. Grandma Nita's voice lives in my bones. I hear it every time I draw a line that almost trembles, then steadies. When I'm 8, our house smells like instant noodles and wet laundry. The power flickers because Mom forgets to pay again. Grandma doesn't scold. She lights a stubby candle, pulls me and Tessa onto the couch, and says, "Tonight, we visit the Lantern King." Her stories aren't shiny fairy tales. They are survival instructions in costume. The Lantern King isn't brave. He is careful. The river isn't magical. It's cold enough to kill you. The villain is never a dragon. It's always a smiling person who says, "Trust me." I cling to those nights because daylight is loud, school, bills, adults whispering in the kitchen. Animation becomes my private spell later. Flipbooks in math class. A cheap tablet bought with tip money. The first time I make Grandma's lantern glow on screen, and I start crying. When she gets older, she repeats the same set of tales, as if polishing them. The Lantern King, the girl in the blue coat, the orchard that doesn't grow, the door behind the mirror. I record her on my phone while she pretends not to notice. "Why are you recording me?" she asks, squinting. "Because you'll forget," I say. She points a finger at me. "No, because they'll pretend they forgot." There's one detail I never understand as a kid. In The Girl in the Blue Coat, Grandma always says the girl has a tiny stitched tag inside the collar, 2 letters and a date, like clothing needs an ID. Why does she have a tag? I ask. Grandma's smile tightens. So someone can find her if she's lost. Tessa hates these questions. Even at 12, she acts like curiosity is rude. "Jules, stop digging," she snaps. "It's just a story." But Grandma looks at me like she's begging and warning at the same time. Her hand trembles around the candle, and she says softly, "Some stories are cages, baby. Some are keys." Years later, when I build my film, I animate that tag clearly, 2 letters, 1 date, because it feels important even if I don't know why. Tonight, backstage, Marcus's cease and desist shakes in my fist, and Grandma's words echo. My phone buzzes again, and Grandma whispers a name I've never heard before. 2 months ago, this is just me and a folder named Lantern_King_Final_Final 3 because I'm a liar. I submit to Riverside at 2:14 a.m. on October 3rd. Rent overdue, coffee cold. The portal auto emails submission received. I screenshot it like evidence my life isn't a joke. A week later, a programmer writes back. They want a screener, a director statement. They call my animation haunting. I reread the email until the words blur. That's when Marcus finds me. He walks into the co-working space where I print lesson plans, scarf draped like he's in a magazine. Someone whispers, he mentors artists. He shakes my hand and says, "Your lighting work is gorgeous. Have you thought about scaling it?" Scaling it how? I ask. Series potential, he says. Grants. Bigger festivals. I can help you avoid rookie mistakes. He says help, like it's a spell, and I'm so tired I almost let it work. He asks for my project files to back them up. I refuse. He laughs. Good. Keep it locked down. Then he offers to advise and mentions he can nudge Riverside's director. The way he says nudge makes my stomach pinch. The next day, my file glitches. A sequence named tag_closeup vanishes. Not in the timeline, not in the autosaves, not in the version history. I chalk it up to software until I open Dropbox activity and see a line that makes my skin go cold. October 12th, 1:07 a.m. Lantern_king_project. AEP accessed from new device. Location, Pine Ridge, 2 suburbs over. I don't own a second device. I call Tessa. Has Grandma's Wi-Fi been weird lately? Silence. Then tight. Why are you asking about Grandma? Because the access ping is near her house. You're overthinking, she says. Maybe you logged in somewhere. I didn't. Another pause, like she's choosing words. Jules, please don't make this into a thing. I change every password, turn on two-factor, and message Marcus. Did you access my Dropbox by accident? He replies in 2 minutes. Nope. But I can help you secure your assets, smiley face. Seconds later, an email lands in my inbox. Collaboration agreement, signed today. Marcus schedules a casual mixer at a small studio downtown. Cheap wine, people in black turtlenecks pretending they aren't scared. I arrive straight from teaching, chalk dust on my sleeves. Marcus claps when he sees me, loud enough to turn heads. Everyone, he announces, arm around my shoulder. This is Jules. They make adorable little cartoons. Adorable. Little. Cartoons. I laugh because my throat locks if I don't. It's animation, I say. Oh, totally, Marcus replies. Animation. Like Pixar, but indie. A few people chuckle. He points to the monitor where my teaser loops. A lantern on a river. A child in a blue coat turning as if she hears footsteps. My hands ache just watching it. Here's the thing, Marcus tells the group. This could be huge with the right branding. Cleaner title. Broader audience. Less trauma. He says trauma like it's mold. The trauma is the point, I say. It's my story. Sweet, he says, smiling. But investors don't buy therapy sessions. He turns back to the room. We're exploring turning it into a series under Holloway Media. Jules will be involved, of course. My stomach drops. We're exploring what? He keeps smiling. It's a compliment. Relax. I step away and open Riverside's submission portal, partly to breathe. The screen loads and my heart stutters. Submitted by Marcus Holloway Media LLC. Primary contact, Marcus Holloway. Director, Jules, last name, credit pending. Credit pending. Like I'm optional. I refresh. Same. Portal history shows. October 26th, 9:48 p.m. Submission updated. No alert. No login email. Just a neat rewrite of ownership. I march back to him. You changed my submission. He glances at my phone like it's nothing. I cleaned it up. Festivals like professional entries. You can't just. He leans closer, voice warm and dangerous. I can. Because I'm protecting you from yourself. Before I can answer, my phone buzzes with a new email from a law firm. Subject line, Notice of Infringement, Lantern King assets attached. After the mixer, I drive to Grandma's house because my hands won't stop shaking and I need her voice to tether me. Her place sits in a quiet suburb where every lawn looks trimmed to the same height. Inside, it smells like lemon cleaner and old books. Photos line the hallway. Me at 6 with missing front teeth, Tessa in braces, Grandma holding a baby that isn't either of us. The baby's face is half covered by glare, like the frame refuses to remember. Tessa's car is already there. She meets me in the kitchen, arms crossed. You can't show that film, she says before I even say hello. What's going on? I ask. Why did Marcus? Stop saying his name like he's the problem, she snaps. The problem is you bringing things up that should stay buried. I blink. It's animation, Tessa. She laughs, sharp. That's what you think. Other people won't. Grandma appears in the doorway, cardigan buttoned wrong. Her eyes flick to the infringement notice in my hand, and her face drains. Who sent that? She asks. Marcus changed my submission, I say. Now he's claiming my work. And you called Tessa crying. Grandma's hands flutter at her chest. I didn't file anything, she whispers. I told you not to show it. I stare at her. You told me to record you. You said stories are keys. Tessa steps closer, blocking Grandma. Grandma didn't mean this. This? I shake the paper. Those stories are why I'm still here. Grandma's mouth trembles. Baby, you don't understand what you drew. Then tell me. I say, why does Marcus have my file hash? Why did someone access my Dropbox near your house? Why are you scared? Grandma looks past me, toward the living room. Not in this house, she says. Not with the pictures. What pictures? I ask. Tessa's voice goes colder. Do you want the family dragged through court? Do you want people asking why Grandma tells stories about missing girls and tags inside collars? Grandma flinches at the word missing. I walk to the hallway photos and stop at the baby picture again. Up close, I see a stitched blue collar, tiny tag peeking out, just like Grandma's tail. I turn back. Who is that baby? That baby is the reason you can't screen it, Grandma whispers. Grandma says it like she's putting a lid on a boiling pot. Then she looks at Tessa and says, make tea. Tessa doesn't move. Jules needs to leave. I should, but fear doesn't appear out of nowhere. Grandma, I ask, is Marcus blackmailing you? Her eyes flash. Don't accuse people in my house. That's not an answer. Tessa grabs my elbow. You're upsetting her. I'm already upset. I snap, pulling free. Someone is stealing my work and you're acting like I'm the problem. Grandma closes her eyes. If you screen it, you will hurt people who didn't hurt you. Not, you'll get sued. Hurt people. Like the film is a knife and she knows where it cuts. I walk back into the hallway and stare at the baby photo again. The frame is crooked. Behind it, the wall has a lighter rectangle, like it's been moved a lot. I slide my fingers along the back and feel paper tucked between cardboard and wood. I pull the frame off the nail. A yellowed envelope slips out and hits the floor. Tessa gasps. Jules. Grandma's face goes gray. Put that back. The envelope is unsealed. Inside is a folded letter on letterhead. Pine Ridge Family Services. The date at the top makes my throat close. June 14th, 1996. It's a case update. Child placed under kinship guardianship. Confidentiality agreement. Identification tag retained for future verification. 2 letters are handwritten in the margin. NK. Under it. 06/12. My hands go numb. NK. A date. A tag inside a blue collar. Grandma. I whisper, what is NK? She lunges for the paper, but I'm already taking photos with my phone. Silent shutter. Proof. Tessa's voice spikes. You're stealing from her. No. I say, eyes burning. Someone stole from all of us. Grandma's shoulders sag. I kept her safe, she whispers. I did what I had to. Her. Not it. A person. My phone vibrates with a Dropbox alert. Project file downloaded. Timestamp. 8:41 p.m. Location, Pine Ridge. Someone is inside my work while I'm inside Grandma's past. I don't sleep. I get home with Grandma's letter photos burning in my camera roll, and I refresh logs like I can outstare a thief. At 6:30 a.m. I call Devin, the only person I know who reads legal documents for fun. Tell me this is nothing, I say. He listens. Marcus, cease and desist, Pine Ridge letter, Dropbox pings. Then says, meet me at noon bean. Bring screenshots. Don't forward anything. Devin shows up in a button-up like he came from court, not espresso. He scrolls through my phone, jaw tightening. First, he says, a cease and desist isn't a verdict. It's pressure. Second, we fight paper with paper. We build a timeline. He opens his laptop. Festival portal. Does Riverside show an edit log? I log in, hands shaking. There's an activity tab I never noticed. October 26th, 9:48 p.m. Entry edited by admin. IP 173. 4419 asterisk device Chrome/Mac OS. That's not me, I whisper. Devin nods. We match the IP. He runs it through a lookup and turns the screen toward me. A downtown subnet, 2 blocks from the studio address on Marcus's email signature. Next, he pulls the state business registry. Marcus Holloway Media LLC, he reads. Formed October 18th. 10 days after I submit. 4 days before my first Dropbox new device access. Devin taps my Dropbox screenshot. Keep every alert. Export the activity report. Save the raw files and the metadata. My timeline won't stop him from destroying the screening. I say. It might, Devin replies. But you're also holding something else. He points at the Pine Ridge letter photo. NK. That's family. So after work, I go to the library, the one with microfilm that makes you feel like you're time traveling badly. I search Pine Ridge 1996 missing child until my eyes blur. A headline appears. Infant girl reported missing. Family Services investigates. The caption punches air out of my lungs. Blue knit collar, identification tag retained by agency for verification. The initials match grandma's margin note, and my hands start to sweat. Devin calls me that night and says, I pulled the collaboration agreement you didn't sign. I didn't open it. I say, pacing my apartment. My monitor hums like a sick animal. Good, he replies. Because it's not collaboration. It's a transfer. He shares his screen. The PDF looks harmless. Bold title, friendly bullets. But Devin highlights the teeth. Section 4, Assignment of Rights. All existing and future assets, including characters, scripts, recordings, and derivative works, are hereby assigned to Marcus Holloway Media LLC. And this, Devin adds, voice flat, is the fun part. He scrolls to the signature block. My name sits there in fake cursive, the kind you drag and drop. Next to it, signed October 26th, 9:52 p.m. That's 4 minutes after the festival portal edit. I whisper. Devin nods. And your phone location history? I open my Maps timeline. October 26th, 9:52 p.m. I'm at the after-school center, rinsing paintbrushes while parents run late. I'm nowhere near his studio. I say. Which means, Devin says, someone signed for you, or accessed your account. He pauses. And Jules, your film isn't the only thing he's targeting. He emails me a screenshot from the state registry. Marcus Holloway Media LLC lists a mailing address that isn't his studio. It's A.P.O. Box in Pine Ridge. Same suburb as Grandma. Same suburb as the Dropbox pings. Same letterhead on the Family Services envelope. I swallow hard. Why would he pick Pine Ridge? That's the part one can't prove yet, Devin admits. But I can tell you what he's doing. He's building a paper trail to claim your work. Then he pressures the festival to cut you and keep the property. If it streams later, he collects. And the missing baby? I ask, voice small. Devin's gaze softens. That's leverage. If your stories map to a real case, your premiere becomes a spotlight. A spotlight on Grandma. On Tessa. On whoever NK is. I open my audio folder and scroll to Grandma's recordings. The oldest file is from when I'm 19, labeled Nita_story_06-12. M4A, same date as the margin note. I press play, and Grandma's younger voice says, if they ever come back for her, hide the tag. Then the recording cuts off mid-sentence, like someone yanks the truth away. I do something that feels like betrayal and devotion at once. I rewatch Grandma's stories like they're evidence. I line up 3 things, my animatic, Grandma's recordings, and the microfilm article about NK. The headline sits beside my timeline like a bruise. My brain begs for coincidence. Lots of kids wear blue. Lots of initials exist. But Grandma never chose details randomly. She chose them like locks. In The Girl in the Blue Coat, the girl isn't lost in a forest. She's lost in a building with bright lights and uniforms. Grandma calls it the White Hive. As a kid, I thought it was fantasy. Now it reads like a hospital. There's a scene where the Lantern King carries her down a hallway and whispers, "Don't look at the smiling man." In my film, the smiling man is a shadow with teeth. In Grandma's audio, she adds one line I never animated. He wears a nice coat, and he says he can fix paperwork. My stomach flips. Paperwork. Marcus's favorite word. I scrub the raw file and stop at 12 minutes and 34 seconds. Grandma's voice lowers. He makes mothers sign things they don't understand. I sit back, throat tight. What would you do if a bedtime story is a confession? Then I jump to the orchard that doesn't grow. The Lantern King buries something under a dead tree because the ground remembers. I always treated it as poetry. Now it sounds like instructions. And in the door behind the mirror, Grandma insists, the door is real. It's only hidden. Tessa used to groan from the couch. Stop digging, Jules. Like curiosity is a crime. Tessa, always shutting it down. Always keeping peace. Peace for who? I pull up Grandma's neighborhood map. 2 streets over sits a fenced-off orchard, trees stunted and brown. I've walked past it 100 times without noticing, because kids don't see what adults hide. I text Devin a screenshot. If there's something buried, where do we start? He replies, start where her stories always start, by the river. My stomach drops because I know exactly which river she means. The next morning Marcus calls me like nothing happened. Jules, he says, warm. I heard you were stressed last night. Festivals can be overwhelming. Why is your LLC on my submission? I ask, sitting in my car outside the after-school center. A soft laugh. Because I'm protecting your work. You're talented, but you're naive. You mean like you're protecting it from me? He sighs. Sign the agreement. We fix the credit. We avoid a legal mess. I didn't sign anything, I say. And I have the audit logs. Silence. 1 beat too long. Then his voice drops. Careful. When you wave logs around, you invite people to look at your source material. My stomach tightens. What does that mean? It means your grandma is old, Marcus says gently. She doesn't need strangers asking questions about Pine Ridge. She doesn't need reporters digging around her house. You understand me? Rage and fear mix in my throat. Did you talk to her? Don't make this ugly, he says. Learn when to compromise. He hangs up. At 5:12 p.m. My phone explodes with Dropbox alerts. Lantern_King folder moved to trash. Then another. Then another. Dozens in a minute. I race home. My apartment door is unlocked. Inside, Tessa sits at my desk, laptop open, my external drive plugged in. Her eyes are swollen. What did you do? I whisper. She flinches. I'm saving you. You're deleting my film. You don't get it, she says, clicking frantically. If it exists, it can be used. I shove past her and hit restore, hands shaking so badly I miss twice. A progress bar crawls across the screen, agonizingly slow. My offline backup drive sits in the closet, untouched, thank God. In the trash folder my scenes vanish in real time. Tag_close-up, blue__allway, orchard_e gone. Tessa, stop. She looks up, voice breaking. Grandma begged me. She said Marcus will ruin her if you keep pushing. My phone buzzes again. A text from Marcus with a photo attachment. It's Grandma Nita at her kitchen table, and Marcus stands behind her smiling. Devin doesn't yell when I text him the photo of Marcus behind Grandma. He just calls and says calm. Okay. We stop playing defense. What do we do? I ask. My apartment still smells like panic and overheated electronics. We create one moment where everyone sees the same facts at the same time, Devin says. No, he said, she said. Receipts. He walks me through it like a checklist, because my brain is mush. Export the Dropbox activity report. Screenshot the festival portal audit log with the IP. Save the PDF with the forged e-signature and the timestamp. Pull your raw project file metadata, creation dates, autosaves, render logs. Bring the Pine Ridge letter and the newspaper scan, but don't lead with family. Lead with theft. Who do we show? I ask. The festival, Devin says. If they see he altered the entry and forged your signature, they have a policy problem. And Marcus hates policy. So Devin emails Riverside's program director from his work address, short and boring, urgent IP dispute, requesting meeting before screening. He attaches a 1-page timeline with dates and screenshots. I watch my inbox like it's a heart monitor. 10 minutes later, meeting confirmed, 3 p.m. Conference room B. Now we need Marcus in that room. I call him, swallowing acid. I'll talk, I say, but not by email. Meet me at Riverside with my lawyer. His pause is hungry. Finally, he says, bring your drives. We'll get you sorted. And Tessa comes, I add, before I lose nerve. He laughs. Why? Because she tried to delete my project, I say. Because she's involved whether she wants to be or not. Another pause. Fine. Marcus says, too easy. Bring Grandma too. My spine goes cold. No. Then don't waste my time, he replies. Your source material is the only reason I'm being patient. After I hang up, I drive to Grandma's house. Marcus's car is gone, but the curtains are drawn in afternoon like someone is hiding from daylight. Grandma opens the door and looks smaller than yesterday. Baby, she whispers, don't fight him. I'm not fighting, I say. I'm ending this. She starts to cry, shaking her head. If you make him angry, he'll tell you who you are. That sentence hits harder than any threat Marcus makes. Conference room B smells like burnt coffee. A festival administrator sits at the end of the table with a laptop open, tense and polite. Devin lays a folder down. I keep my hands under the table so nobody sees them shake. Marcus arrives late, smiling like he owns the room. Tessa trails behind him, eyes on the carpet. Jules, Marcus says, bright. Glad you came to your senses. Devin answers instead. We're here because your company altered a festival entry and presented a forged rights assignment. We have logs. The administrator blinks. Forged. Devin slides a printout over. Festival portal audit log. October 26th, 9:48 p.m. Edited by admin. IP resolves within blocks of Mr. Holloway's studio. Marcus shrugs. IP addresses aren't people. Correct, Devin says. So here's the signature you claim Jules applied at 9:52 p.m. He flips to the PDF. And here's Jules's location history at that minute, after school center. Security camera stills available if needed. Marcus's smile twitches. Or your client shared passwords. I changed them, I cut in. Someone still accessed my Dropbox from Pine Ridge. At Pine Ridge, Tessa flinches. Devin turns his laptop for the administrator. Dropbox activity report. Downloads from a new device ID, multiple dates. Then last night, entire folder moved to trash. He taps a line. Device name, Tessa iPhone. Tessa's head snaps up. No, I stare at her. Tell them you didn't do it. Her lips move, but nothing comes out. Marcus's voice sharpens. This is a family dispute. Don't drag the festival into it. The administrator's expression hardens. Mr. Holloway, if this is accurate, we're pausing your claim and restoring Jules's submission today. Marcus leans forward, the charm slipping. You have no idea what you're stepping into, he says. That film isn't just art. It's evidence. The door opens, and Grandma Nita steps in holding a small tin box. She sets it on the table and says, then here's the tag you've been hunting for. The meeting ends without screaming, which somehow feels worse. The festival administrator escorts Marcus out like he's a liability, not a celebrity. Devin stays behind to email the logs to their legal team. I stand in the hallway with Tessa, both of us breathing too fast. What did you do? I ask her. Tessa's eyes go hard. I did what Grandma asked. And Marcus asked, I say. She flinches, then snaps. You don't know what he knows. Grandma sits on a plastic chair, tin box on her lap, like it's a sleeping animal. When I kneel in front of her, she won't meet my eyes. Open it, I whisper. Her fingers shake as she lifts the lid. Inside is a tiny strip of blue fabric with a stitched tag. 2 letters. 1 date. It's the exact thing I animated 100 times without understanding. N.K. June 12th, 96. My mouth goes dry. I'm 29. I was born in June. Devin's voice comes from behind me, careful. Jules, you don't have to talk about family here. I do. Grandma says, finally looking at me. Her eyes are wet but steady. Because he's coming back for what he thinks is his. What? I ask. Who? Grandma swallows. Not your film, baby. The festival still screens my short that night, but the joy is thin as paper. People clap. A woman tells me. It made me cry. I smile until my cheeks hurt. Then I walk outside and throw up behind a dumpster like I'm 16 again. On my phone, emails stack up. The festival confirms my submission is restored. Devin forwards me a notice that Marcus's claim is under review. My after-school boss asks why I missed parent pickup. I go in late the next day and get pulled aside. Jules, you can't disappear like that, my boss says. The kids rely on you. I nod, ashamed, because she's right. Art is my lifeline, but those kids are somebody else's. At Grandma's house, the air turns poisonous. Tessa won't speak to me. She tells Grandma, you should have burned that box years ago. Grandma whispers, I tried. That night, Devin texts, Marcus filed a counterclaim. He's escalating. Happy almost birthday, NK, he says. And tell Grandma I'm done waiting. Winning doesn't feel like fireworks. It feels like paperwork and exhaustion. Devin files a report for identity theft and digital tampering. It's not glamorous. It's forms, case numbers, and me explaining Dropbox to a board clerk. But it creates a trail that Marcus can't charm his way out of. We also do the boring protection stuff I should have done years ago. New passwords, hardware keys, separate cloud accounts. My project files copied to 2 encrypted drives that never leave my apartment. I stop working at my kitchen table and start working at a desk like my life matters. Devin drafts a short agreement for the festival. All rights remain mine. Any streaming requires written permission, and Marcus's LLC is barred from contacting me through official channels. The festival signs it. They don't apologize out loud, but their email reads like one. At home, I finally admit I can't raw dog this trauma with caffeine and spite. I book a therapist through a low-cost clinic and sit on a couch that smells like fabric softener, telling a stranger, I think my bedtime stories are about my birth. She doesn't flinch. She just asks, how long have you been carrying that alone? Too long. With Grandma, I set boundaries in a way that feels cruel and necessary. No more secret meetings, I tell her. If Marcus shows up, you call me or you call 911. Not Tessa, not the church, me. Grandma nods like she's ashamed. I only wanted to keep you safe. I know, I say softer. But safety built on silence is still a cage. Tessa refuses to talk to me for a week. When she finally does, it's a text. You ruined everything. I answer once, carefully. I'm not ruining secrets. I'm ending leverage. Devin helps me request records from the county, birth certificate, guardianship files, anything connected to Pine Ridge Family Services. We keep it private. My film stays my film. The internet doesn't get to chew on Grandma's life while she's still living it. For the first time in months, I animate again without shaking. I redraw the Lantern King's hands. Older, steadier. I change one shot. The tag isn't hidden anymore. It's held up to the light. Then a thick envelope arrives from the county clerk, stamped confidential. I open the county envelope at my desk with Devin on speaker, my therapist's last question still ringing. How long have you been carrying that alone? The first page is a certified birth record. The name printed at the top isn't Jules. It's a name I've never heard spoken out loud in my family, followed by initials that punch me in the ribs. NK. The date matches the tag in Grandma's tin box. Devin's voice stays steady. This explains the guardianship letter. It doesn't explain Marcus. Grandma explains what she can that night, sitting in her living room with the same lemon cleaner air and the same crooked photos. She tells me about a young mother in trouble, a smiling man who offered to fix paperwork, and a choice that didn't feel like a choice. She tells me she kept the tag because she was terrified someone would come claiming ownership of a child, not a story. Tessa sits on the edge of the couch, arms wrapped around herself. She doesn't apologize. She just whispers, I thought deleting it would make it stop. It never stops, I tell her. It just moves to someone else. My film goes back on the schedule with my name where it belongs. After the screening, a teenager with sketchbook hands asks how I made the lantern glow. I show them a simple trick with layers and opacity, and their eyes light up like I just handed them magic. That's what animation really is for me. Turning pain into something you can look at without flinching, turning secrets into shapes you can name. Here's the practical part one wish someone told me earlier. Document everything. Save drafts. Keep raw files. Turn on two-factor. Don't sign friendly agreements without someone like Devin reading them. And if your family tells you to stay quiet, ask who benefits from your silence. I don't blow up Grandma's life online. I don't turn her into content. I make boundaries instead. I keep making the series, but I change the ending. The Lantern King doesn't hide the tag. He holds it up, and the river reflects it back.